man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Look, we're going to get right into this real quick. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office has announced that two of the accused killers of Malcolm X will be exonerated today. That means that their names will be cleared, they will be exonerated, and, just free of that whole cloud that's been hanging over their heads all this time. There were three men who were arrested in the assassination of Malcolm X when it took place back in 1965. One man's name was Thomas Hagen. He has admitted to being the shooter or one of the shooters, and he was not a member of the Nation of Islam. The other two men, a man by the name of Norman 3X and a brother by the name of Thomas 15X, they were members of the Nation of Islam. They were lumped into the accusation and they were tried, arrested, and convicted, even though they have denied any involvement and have maintained their innocence for decades, on top of the fact that the admitted shooter, Thomas Hagen, also said that those two men not only had nothing to do with it, they were not even present at the Audubon ballroom that day when the assassination took place. So now these men, Thomas 15X and Norman 3X, they've been exonerated, but they've lost decades of their lives behind bars in prison over a lie and over a conspiracy that was put together in order to create a division, in order to paint a picture that the Nation of Islam has something to do with the assassination of Malcolm X. There were witnesses that spoke on behalf of Brother Norman that backed up his alibi that he was not at the ballroom that day. Not to mention the fact that there was a sworn statement by Thomas Hagen, who was one of the shooters, who was not in the nation, who also said in a sworn statement way back in the 70s that, hey, they didn't have nothing to do with it. These things were ignored. Now, this exoneration is bittersweet because, of course, you want to see those brothers' names cleared, and but when you think about the time that they've lost, and when you think about the fact that brother Thomas 15X is no longer with us, he passed away in 2009, and brother Norman is now 83 years old. So the best years of their life, you know, for brother Norman have passed, and brother Thomas, he's no longer around. So it's bittersweet, but there's a few ways we can also look at it because it's deeply layered. This exoneration could possibly lead to another exoneration, and that is the exoneration of the Nation of Islam, who have long since been accused through media outlets, through slick publications and individuals and high ranking in government that they've been accused of being behind this murder, when anybody who just does a grain of research will understand the role of the FBI and the New York City Police Department in this whole thing. They were littered all through this whole scenario with Malcolm's assassination, but they strategically put it on the nation. So maybe this will open the door to make a lot of the detractors and a lot of those who've been deceived by the detractors of the nation to look at this a little more carefully, to understand that the truth, although it's been out, it may now be exposed on a level that will clear the nation, and in particular clear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who's also been falsely accused of being involved with assassinating Malcolm X. Now, I won't go into a lot of the deep details of this, simply because it's a lot, number one, but also because just by chance, even before I even got this news, I had already set up an interview with Brother Demetric Muhammad, who wrote the book, Didn't Y'all Kill Malcolm? And that interview will be conducted next week. And I'm going to let our brother have the floor and lay out the layers of details that are involved in this case. And when you get through hearing what he has to say, if you still believe that the nation has something to do with killing Malcolm, then you just want to believe it. That's all it is. That's all it is to it. So many plots and schemes took place throughout this whole case back in 1966, where the prosecutors actually had information on individuals who were involved or could possibly have been involved that they never checked out because they had their scapegoats, they had their men, they had the ones that they wanted to get, and they had that connection to the NOI that they needed in order to create that division. This is a tactic that's been going on for decades and decades and decades. So we'll see how this thing develops, man. We'll see how this thing shapes out. And blessings to the family of, of Brother Malcolm. Blessings to the family of our brother uh, Thomas 15X, who's not around to see his name be cleared. And blessings to the family, and blessing to our brother Norman 3X, who is around to see it, and hopefully he can receive some degree of satisfaction, um, whatever it's worth after all these years. All right, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. Y'all stay tuned to this because again, I'm just I'm just tapping on it. I'm just tapping on. I'm just barely hitting the pinata. Trust and believe as the weeks progress and as time progresses, this pinata's gonna bust open and all the candy gonna come out, man. And we will see if those who have had who have taken this false information and ran with it, we will see if they will be, if you really sincere, we'll see if you humble yourself and admit that you was wrong. All right, man, this your big brother K-Rino. Catch y'all later on. Peace and blessings.